and also the development of financial institutions. Because of the so-called tax ability, the issues on how they should comply to the SDF would differ. For example, on the second bullet on the resource sharing, for example, they would have a financial group that practice sharing of resources, and they do a lot of leveraging and outsourcing. And there also financial group that does not practice sharing of resources. So you have group that really stretch their limits of sharing, outsourcing, and you have also group that really have dedicated entities that they don't leverage too much on the group infrastructure, especially on Shariah matters. And of course, we have the business size, small IFIs versus large IFIs. This is also an issue. Of course, the small IFIs feel that they don't need to comply fully with the Shariah governance framework. For example, even the number of Shariah governance or Shariah committee members of 5, this seems to be too big for them due to their small size. And but even the large IFIs, so sometimes when we engage with them, they feel that they don't need to observe also fully the SDF, because they feel they are already Islamic. They are very Islamic. They don't need to meet all so all this SDF has been so-called abided. But when we conduct a thematic assessment, there are a lot of so-called loopholes in the so-called large Islamic financial institutions. The second issues would be on the human capital development. We know that when we issue this SDF, it will invite a lot of human capital issues. Already, and also called it is already a challenging issue. It's already challenging. The bank keep coming back to us saying that they have difficulty in finding additional so-called members to meet those 5 requirements. We say that yes, we know it's difficult, but based on our study, when we conduct an assessment on the supply of Shariah, of lecturers or clinicians that teaches Shariah in the universities in Malaysia, the numbers actually outstrip the demand. The number of supply outstrip the number of the demand. It's just that the banks sometimes prefer to appoint those who they are very familiar with, the regular faces, Of course lah, Aznan tak dapat lagi lah. Now that's become Negara. So these are called the popular, the icons of the Shariah industry. So, but moving forward, we believe that this issue will be addressed if the bank have a systematic structure and training module. And we also expect the university also to play their part in enhancing the pool of graduates, not only to primarily to support the Shariah committees. To me, actually, the most important element in the Shariah bank would be the Shariah review function, the Shariah research, and so on. These are the backbone. As I mentioned earlier, these are the backbone. If the bank doesn't have a strong so-called Shariah compliant functions, it would not it would create a situation where the Shariah committee will not be able to make a sound decision. So you might have a very strong, for example, Shariah committees, but you have a weak so-called Shariah compliance, so-called function research or Shariah research, so-called in the bank. It would not lead to a sound decision. That's why we always felt that this is one area that the bank must give prominence in terms of enhancing the so-called function, review function, risk management, and so on. Inshallah, we hope that in the next 3 or 5 years, all the universities and also in terms of scholarship that being provided now by several institutions, we will be able to enhance the pool of Shariah officers as well as the pool of Shariah committee members. But I also would like to hear also from the audience, for example, whether there are any other suggestions that we can think of in terms of enlarging the pool of Shariah committee members. And for Malaysia, we do not prohibit, for example, banks from appointing so-called foreign scholars to sit in the bank. In fact, there are quite a number of banks that have appointed foreign scholars as part of the Shariah committee members. But still, it's still an issue to us. And this is also an issue on Shariah audit and Shariah risk management. Alhamdulillah, we have started with Shariah audit, and we hope that this Shariah audit framework will be a good benchmark for the bank to follow. And the next exercise that we're going to embark will be on the Shariah risk management, to have a better understanding on what is Shariah risk management is, because the one that we have in the Shariah framework is just so-called a broad or principle-based aspect of what is Shariah risk management. And the fourth will be on the absence of industry reference to Shariah audit that can be adopted. This is also an issue because we try to go to AUFI and other banks but they don't have much information on the so-called industry reference. Okay. For information, since December last year, we have been engaging the Islamic banks and Takaful operators. We called them one by one to central bank for them to brief us on the state of readiness and to see whether there are any gaps in terms of the implementation and compliance with the deadline that we have set, which is 30th June 2011. Generally, the IFIs are committed to observe the Shariah governance framework. All of them are committed. They don't have any qualms about that. Notwithstanding, they have requested a lot our forbearance in certain areas. For example, extension in compliance deadline. As you know, 30th June in June 2011, when we met them, let's say in April, they list out all the challenges, all the issues, and they said that they would not be able to meet the deadline. So normally they would ask for extension. So we are considering those extension on a case-by-case basis to see whether such extension is merit consideration. In some cases we do give extension, in some cases we disallow. And another issue that they raised would be on the 5 committee Shariah committee members. This is normally in the case of the small banks, the small bank like the IIIBF. You have less assets less than 1 billion ringgit, and they felt that 3 is adequate for the time being. What we felt that as we look at our Shariah governance framework, when we say 5 committee members, only 3 actually should be Shariah qualified. At least 3 must be Shariah qualified, whereas the 2 can come from other discipline. So we don't see that any issue for them to appoint. Let's say if they have only 3 Shariah qualified, we don't see that as a problem for them to issue the remaining 2 from other discipline if they wish to. Of course, some banks says that they prefer the whole of 5 members to be Shariah qualified. It's their call, but certainly we do not expect the banks to have only 3 committee members in the IFIs. And also, they also request a lower frequency of meetings. As you know, under the governance framework, they are required to have at least 6 times a year. But they felt that in some banks they felt it's too many, it's too frequent, which we don't share that view. But in some cases, they say that they have a lot of, they have foreign so-called Shariah scholars. And they have difficulty in calling them to the meeting because due to cost. Of course, to fly them to Malaysia and have the meeting. Of course, normally we ask them to whether you can consider what do you call it, internet or teleconference or on. But so far they have not been able to do that. But we are considering those requests and also, of course, the lack of resources in Shariah risk management, Shariah audit, Shariah review. So all this actually, and they have asked whether they can outsource Shariah audit and Shariah register function, which we have allowed. If they feel that they don't have the resources, they can only outsource to third parties, subject to our approval. Okay? So that is the end of my presentation. I would like to would appreciate if there are question and answers to enable for us as central bank when we review this SDF, say in next 2 or 3 years, we would able to have it much more robust guidelines. This is our first attempt, for example, to issue a comprehensive SDF. Certainly, there are some areas that can be improved. In fact, based on our so-called workshop that we have held I think a few months ago, we invited Sheikh Yusuf Tala de Lorenzo as the main speaker. We saw that from his assessment, there are some areas that we felt that can be incorporated in our SDF when we revise this policy later on. On that note, thank you again for inviting me. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Tuan Haji Rustam. I'm always reminded how thankful we are to have central bankers are very concerned with the development of the industry. Now, before I introduce or invite the next speaker, I forgot to do something Professor Azmi asked me, and that is to very quickly introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Zahid Abdul Aziz, postgraduate student here, former Islamic banker. Okay, all right. Now, actually, among the crowd, I think there are bankers, there are students. There will be a question and answer session, but I ask you to write it down and keep it on a piece of paper first. We'll do that.
وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعه ونصره ولا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. Thank you, my dear brother, Zahid, Tuan Haji Rustam. I think you have enough people to talk today. Actually, in Malay we call nasi tambah. If you feel so hungry, then you need nasi tambah. If you feel good, then you don't need nasi tambah anymore. So consider me as nasi tambah. So if you have difficult question, ask Haji Rustam. If you have easy question, you can ask me. For two reasons. First, I got some sour throat a little bit. Second, you cannot speak against a banker, especially a central banker. You'll be in trouble already when you talk against a central banker. So you have to be very careful when you're in front of central banker. You have to praise more than criticize more. I'm joking. I think this is my point of discussion for today. Simple discussion. I will try to skip many of the slides, try to focus on what I think more essential one. If you look at my topic of my presentation, I put an appraisal. It's not because Dr. Haji Rustam is here, because based on my humble experience here and some other part of the world, I think there is no country in the world that appreciates Islamic banking more than Malaysia. I'm not saying here because I'm a Malaysian or we are now in Malaysia. Everywhere we go also we say the same thing, is that the way the government and central bank appreciates Islamic banking and finance beyond what has been done by other regulators in the world. I will show you some of the reasons why I say that. And also during our discussion, you may want to ask also what are the practices that we have overseas. Rather we may explore and see what other people have been doing in other parts of the world. This is my point of discussion. Excuse me for my voice a little bit, about a very bad translation. Background issue. I will skip the IISP guidelines on that. I think many of us are aware of some of the guidelines of IISP that emphasize on the importance of Shariah governance framework to ensure that full compliance and not only compliance. One of the criticism that we have in Malaysia against Malaysian practice is that the Shariah is put within the central bank. If you go to Indonesia, if you are Indonesian here, for